and welcome to the DurgaBurgers channel. This fucking DurgaBurgers channel. I'm your host, Jay, and welcome to the Jay Poppa podcast, where we talk about wrestling and other wrestling stuff like FMW. But we're not going to talk about that, aren't we, guys?
No.
Get on with it.
Okay, you know what? I was going to introduce you first, but now I'm not. Now, my first sidekick is my tag team partner, one of my closest friends on interwebs, one of the greatest men in the world, and his name is Sean Walsh.
Hi-yo.
And to my left, not really, he's on Skype, is the greatest patrician man of all time, the greatest half-black, half-white man of all time, the greatest writer of all time. New York Times best seller, Steven.
See, suck it down.
And God's gift to Ireland, everyone's favorite Irish drunk, Dan. Dan, say hi.
I was actually trying to burp at the end of that to illustrate how drunk I am, although I haven't actually had a sip of alcohol in about a week.
Wait to screw it all up, Dan. Thank you. And Adam.
You ruined the joke. Oh.
Alright, men. And Adam, we're gonna talk about... We're gonna talk about underrated wrestlers. Alright, boys and Adam. Does anyone know what underrated mean?
This is a classroom? Who's raising their hand first?
Steven, tell me, do you know what
I never
underrated
raised my hand, but the teacher would always pick me for some reason. And it happened again.
It's bringing back memories.
Underrated is
Incorrect.
the definition.
Wow.
Excuse me? Alright, I see how it is.
We're off to a great start.
Adam, what does it mean?
I know I'm going to say something.
Incorrect.
Yeah, I do.
Sean, what does it mean?
Someone who doesn't get the spot that they truly deserve.
You sound
Okay.
So hesitant.
Can I go?
Yes, Dan, go.
See, it's the past participle of the word underrate, which is to underestimate the extent, value, of importance, brackets, someone or something. In this case, it would be to underrate a wrestler who was doing wrestling things in a wrestling ring, but then didn't get the extent or didn't get all the value that wrestler deserved. I'm sorry.
I asked for the
I
definition
said
of
wrestler
underrated.
like 5 times. I mean,
asked for the definition of underrated. You went on a huge paragraph.
yeah.
You decided to go to dictionary.com.
Alright. Now, to simplify the term for you dumb people, which is most of you,
Wow.
underrated means when you're wicked good, but no one ever gives you credit. Alright.
Wow.
Now,
Says in the dictionary.
each man has 3 wrestlers because we could do 5, but that'd be too long. We don't want another 2-hour podcast.
Apparently 3 is enough. We don't need 5.
Yeah, we want a 2-hour podcast, but that's not the point. Now Eastman will say their third one, then the second one, then the first one, and we'll go into great detail on why they think they're underrated. And at the end of the show, we're all of us, that's me, Steven, Sean, Dan, and the other guy, we're gonna have a big debate on who is the most underrated wrestler of all time. Not our opinion on wrestler of all time for our personal choice, but all of wrestling. Now I need a sip from my juice.
Okay.
This is why we can't be PG.
It can't be. Oh, that was so good. I really needed this.
Are you sure the host isn't meant to be drinking on the phone?
Steven, you don't understand.
No, I don't.
Alright. Now,
No, you're gonna
I would go first, but I don't want to because, well, I haven't finished talking yet. So,
Drunk.
who wants to go first? Not yet.
Me, teacher.
Alright, Saka, you go first.
You Nazi.
Okay. So, before I give my number 3, I'm going to quickly say my 2 honorable mentions. That being Owen Hart and Matt Hardy, who are both awesome. One is better than his brother, the other isn't, but, you know, that's besides the point. That's for you to decide what you think. Now, my number 3 is a man who's been in the news lately, and maybe, finally, probably not, because he's fat, gonna get a push he deserves, and that being Samoa Joe. Now, Samoa Joe, as all of you know, is awesome. He's a guy who is rather large and can move like an X Division guy. In fact, when he has nothing to do, he gets thrown the X Division title when he was in TNA. He had incredible matches in his time in Ring of Honor. He had incredible matches in TNA with guys like AJ Styles and Kurt Angle. In fact, his matches with Kurt Angle really put TNA on the map. But here's the thing. For some reason, no matter who was running that company, decided, nah, we'll get someone else, or we'll put Joe will get abducted, we'll forget about it. Samoa Joe is a guy who could have been easily either the biggest face or the biggest heel of that company, no matter what, and it would have been fine. He was a locker room leader, and he was really good. He was really good enough on the mic and phenomenal wrestler, but he would always get pushed aside, whether it be because he was fat, as the great Scott Steiner, who wanted to kill Hulk Hogan, once said, or just because management like Hogan and Bischoff didn't like him.
And to add more to your thing, you know what's sad about the whole thing?
That's
Samoa Joe.
Hogan.
Yes, Sako. I was clearly going for that. No, Samoa Joe is a world champion in TNA and ROH, but we're not going to count that. And really, it's just really sad because he's a world champion. Yet for some reason, after he won the world title, he would just push it aside.
He was always pushed aside, and he was always used as the extra person. Like, if whatever new big group was around, he either always ended up being, like, one of the guys who was also feuding with, or joined the group anyway.
Can I just point out something about that? You just reminded me of his title reign in 08. I remember that his title reign in 08 was completely overshadowed by the foreshadowing of the main event Mafia that would take over the 2009 era of TNA. Like, for example, he was defending the belt against Steiner, Booker T, and then he lost the belt to Sting, which at the Bound for Glory that year, which actually started main event Mafia because the whole Kevin Nash screwing him over thing.
Yeah.
So that was the thing. His title reign could have been a lot better, but it was just they wanted to do the main event Mafia thing, but they had to do it at his expense.
Yeah, his title win was just an angle. So, but I'll finish up, and Samoa Joe currently not in TNA anymore. Just left. He spent like a month in Ring of Honor, and it looks like might be on his way to NXT, and maybe, just maybe, they get a push until Vince McMahon gets his hands on him and realizes he's fat.
All right,
but he's big, so he'll get over.
Yes, he would. Now, who's next? Adam, you're not next. Steven, go.
Oh, so now you want me to talk?
All right, Dan, you're next.
Okay, my third choice is what we were told in the briefing, is Tyson Kidd.
Ooh. Hell yeah.
Now, I know Tyson Kidd is the tag team champion at the moment, but he is a fantastic singles wrestler. If you were tuning in around 2011, 2010, and you watched Superstars, and you watched his matches with Trent Beretta, they were amazing. But it was the kind of thing that you'd watch and be like, wow, if this was for, like, the Cruiserweight belt, if it was still around, or a light heavyweight belt, it would have been just so good just to have that on the belt's legacy. Any comments on Tyson Kidd?
Tyson Kidd, At first, I wasn't really a big fan of Tyson, but when he turned heel recently, I absolutely loved him. He's phenomenal. But as for World Champion material, I don't know.
Well,
Let's
I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying he is World Championship material, but I'm saying he could be booked in the way. I think he could very easily be booked in the way like how Seth Rollins is booked now. Like I've always, and I mean you guys know, I've always liked Tyson Kidd. He's always been a great wrestler, even from back when he was on ECW and had that horrible haircut, and he did the whole Hart Dynasty, and then when he went on his own and he was on Superstars and stuff, and the matches he did on NXT, the Tyson Kidd and Michael McGillicuddy feud, that was something that people forget about, which was great. And then Tyson, one thing he lacked, because I remember in 2013 when he was in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and there was actually people who thinking he was going to win. I was one of them, and he didn't. Tyson Kidd was over, but he didn't have a gimmick besides, well, I was the last graduate of the Heart Dungeon. And then in the last year, when he went to NXT, he turned heel and got this fact gimmick, and he's got this thing with Cesaro now. Tyson Kidd
and
cats, yeah.
Yes.
Tyson Kidd is great. He easily should be doing whatever this thing with Cesaro, however long. Hopefully, it's very successful the whole time. And whenever that does come to an end, he definitely deserves at least a mid-card push. And honestly,
I agree.
And honestly, if you book Tyson Kidd as a heel, where like, yeah, he can't win, but he cheats and uses his wife and stuff like that, he could be bought as a world champion. Just book him like how Rollins is booked now.
All right, Dan, would you like to close the following statement?
He's good, and he should totally get a push.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
All right. Now, who's next? I'll go next because, well, Steve and Adam are bad boys.
I don't even know what I did.
You told me to hurry it up. I don't like that. My number 3 is a indie darling. Yet for some reason, even in the indies, he wasn't really used correctly.
Matt Taven.
After his big push. No, not Matt Taven. Jimmy Jacobs. I enjoy indie wrestling like ROH, Chikara, CZW, and Jimmy Jacobs. If you ask any indie fan who watches indie wrestling, Jimmy Jacobs is very underrated. Just for the mere fact that he had this big push back in help me out here.
What happened? What?
When the Age of the Fall debuted. When was this?
Oh fuck.
2006.
Yeah, around 2006.
Wait,
Okay.
wow, right?
I don't know I can't pinpoint when, but
Holy shit, I was right.
Steven, you're an indie mark.
Ah.
Alright, 06, where I believe when the Age of the Fall debuted, and he had this big run.
Sorry, 2007.
2007, same year, whatever.
Thank God, you've redeemed yourself. You're good.
Alright. Anyone who watched ROH back then knows of the Age of the Fall, and they were phenomenal. And Jacobs is just amazing on the mic, and he's also a great wrestler. But for some odd reason, he never won the world title during the Age of the Fall, for whatever reason. I don't know who was booking at the time. I think it was Gabe. Gabe, you're an idiot. For different reasons, though. I just didn't get why he didn't win the world title then or later on in his career. It's just a shame because he's just really talented. He really is. Age of the Fall, Scum, his stuff in AAW, in Chikara, he's just so good. Yet he never got that big title win. Why? Maybe because he's black, Maybe they're racist. I could.
Okay.
Huh?
He's not black, Jay.
Adam, I'm the host, therefore I'm right.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know why he didn't get that big title win when he should. All right. I mean, I'm gonna look back at past ROH World Champions and people, and I'm gonna say
the current one.
Look at the current one. The current one is. Oh crap.
Briscoe.
Exactly.
Can he get blown up?
He should have beat Briscoe one. Okay, but that's besides the point. Look at, they had guys like Davey, Tyler Black, Eddie Edwards, win fucking Roderick Strong, win the world title, and easily, oh wait, I forgot, Jim Cornette didn't like Jimmy Jacobs, so he wasn't used much. Yay. But yeah, Jimmy Jacobs is my number 3. Adam, I know you're a fan. We did ask him.
I will plead the 5th now because I can't give anything away.
Okay. Don't add to my discussion because
I don't want to.
So you know, you were gonna go next, but since you refused to add to my discussion because
I can't
because you hate me
I can't add to your discussion yet.
Okay, fine. Adam, you're next.
Because it'll give away. So. Aww. All right. Before I go, I have 3 honorable mentions. I have Joey Ryan, William Regal, and Steve Corino. I feel like all 3 of those guys are Regal screwed himself over with the wellness policy, but always felt like he gets a lot of appreciation from the wrestlers, but I feel like he doesn't get enough appreciation from the fans, unless you're in like London. Corino, I feel like just like who my 3rd guy is, bloomed at the tail end of the ECW run, and sadly, after that, wasn't really able to get himself out there enough afterwards. And Joey Ryan, just a really good hand on the indies who deserves better, but because where he lives, it's hard for other places to utilize him. My 3rd pick is the last ECW champion and the last ECW television champion, and that would be the Man Beast Rhino. Just like Steve Corino. Another guy who sadly bloomed at the tail end of the ECW career run, got over to WWE, or WWF at the time, did pretty good for himself in the Invasion angle, but after that went really nowhere, and then got fired because of a dispute that he had with his wife, because paparazzi are a bunch of assholes, and he decided to throw a pot at one of them, and got fired for it. And went on to TNA, had another great career, but got ruined because of the asshole Jeff Jarrett. Had a really good feud with Raven, and then, again, disappeared. Never got the credit he deserved. Awesome worker for a big man. He was okay on the mic, he wasn't the greatest, but then again, his character didn't call for it, and I still stand by that the Gore is the best spear in wrestling. That's my opening statement, if anybody wants to.
As time went on, I now somewhat like Rhino. I do like the Gore. The Gore is probably one of the best spears of all time. It's absolutely beautiful. It really is. But to me, I just never saw what you see in Rhino. I don't know. Go on.
Okay. I'll say this because I remember you were saying how he came in at the tail end of ECW. If there was any way, because I remember hearing Paul Heyman, his thoughts of what he would want to do if ECW were to get that new deal and continue on maybe for a couple more years or whatever. If ECW would have lived longer, because he was the final ECW champion of the...
ECW and TV champion.
Yeah, he would have been, the face of, the new face of that company. He would have been the guy that... Yeah, they wanted to take him into the new direction of ECW. And it's unfortunate for him because, like you said, ever since then, it's kind of... He's never had a... Hey, maybe he'll do good in NXT. NXT original right there.
I know Dan's a fan of Rhino.
Fuck yeah. Rhino is one of my favorite. I don't usually like big guys, to be perfectly honest, but I love Rhino. I kind of just want loads of clips of. I kind of want Rhino to. I kind of wanted Rhino to have more of a career, kind of like what Brock Lesnar has, just kicking the shit out of people and just goring them nonstop.
I'll close it then. I just think Rhino was, like I said, a great hand, but after ECW was over and he went to the WWE, he was never going to be a big deal because they had so much talent at that time that he got lost in the shuffle. He did a few things here and there with, tag division. He went after the U.S. title, but he never was able to reclaim what that ECW run did for him. And sadly, because of that, I feel like he's underrated. I'm done.
All right. Now, last but not least, even though he's been very, very bad this entire time, Steven, go.
Alright, my third most underrated is Eva Marie.
No, hear him out.
No, before you laugh, I want you to see this. Just look at it, and we can put this in the description, and everybody can see it. And they'll see how great Eva Marie actually is.
Oh, the snap suplex that she did.
Yeah, I saw that.
I actually saw that. I was actually pretty impressed.
Exactly.
I was impressed.
And technically, everybody thinks she is scum, the worst person to ever step foot in a ring. And
I don't agree, but I'm actually on Steven's side for once.
So, technically, considering people's such a low opinion of her, probably lower than nearly anyone that stepped foot in the ring in the last couple of years, considering she can do that, technically she's quite underrated.
Steven going devil's advocate.
When I did saw that suplex, it's clear that she's actually training properly
And
as a wrestler.
I don't like her, but I'll give her credit. She's actually trying.
Yeah.
I made it clear if they built her up and she had good ring presence, she could be a monster heel for the Divas division.
And I wouldn't mind flossing my gums with a thong.
Okay.
I'm sure she would love to hear that.
Steven.
What a delicate, dignified closing point.
She wasn't actually my pick.
What?
Wow. Okay, you know what?
Trying to put this is time.
Nope.
Great, now we got the disgusting flossing thing.
Is that your honorable mention, Steven?
She is my honorable mention, yes.
More like dishonorable.
There goes the time of us making sure this.
Fine, I'll make it quick then, because I'm sure everybody listening to this will understand why I'm going to pick Cody Rhodes.
Oh, duh.
Oh, Cody Rhodes is great. I love Cody Rhodes.
He was good.
He wasn't in my original list. I thought about it when you guys were talking, and I realized you give him any gimmick. You can give him you can make him a dustbin man, or whatever. Okay, maybe not. But he could take nearly anything and make it into something good. It may not be the best thing in the world because it could be shite.
He makes the best of it.
Yeah, he makes the best of it. And when he's got a reason to talk, he's really good. When he doesn't have direction, he's not the best. But you can see his promo when, I think it was either before or after he got fired by Orton, after losing that match.
Oh my god, that was great.
If anybody says Cody Rhodes can't talk, just hand them that promo, go, there you go. Shut up.
Yeah.
He's a great gimmick guy. He's very good on the mic on his day when he's got his reason to talk. And I don't think he necessarily should have been a world champion, but if he isn't a multi-time world champion by the time he's retired, then something's gone wrong.
Yeah, I mean, like, when Cody Rhodes first came out on the scenes, it was just, he was the jobbiest of jobbers, and I think it wasn't until, like, he started feuding with Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, so disfigured, whatchamacallit.
Yeah, it wasn't until the dashing gimmick and then his feud with Rey Mysterio, which his ring presence became a thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The dashing gimmick was definitely the seed that planted everything, and the undashing gimmick was the little stem that popped up, and then after that with the mustache was the beautiful bloom to what he is now, Stardust, which is absolutely terrifying. Great, but terrifying.
He actually is really good at playing different gimmicks.
Yeah, that's one thing that a lot of the modern day wrestlers lack is the ability to do gimmicks and that are actually good. Cody Rhodes has always been able to do gimmicks, and maybe it's because he has it in his blood. With his dad's Dusty Rhodes and his brother is Goldust. So
Black Rain.
Oh yeah, it runs in the family though.
Yeah, it definitely shows.
I think you mean 7.
But you want to know what? Oh, fucking 7. Or when he came out as the artist, formerly known as... we're talking about Goldust now.
Okay.
Alright, Steven.
Yeah.
Closing statements.
Cody Rhodes, obvs. There you go.
Was it what?
Obviously. God, you're not up with the
I
lingo
thought you
nowadays.
said porpoise.
Okay,
Also
got it.
old-fashioned.
Okay, now, number 2. Let's see, who should go? I'll go first. Number 2 has to be, for me, is Matt Morgan. Here's a guy in the WWE, was just a big guy, and that was it. Just a big guy, and then they released him. And TNA is where he really improved for me, and I saw that, wow, he's actually talented, and on the mic, he's not that bad. But TNA did this thing where, for a lot of guys like Hernandez and Samoa Joe, they did this really stupid thing where, hey Matt, look, you're getting a push, never mind, oh, you're just kidding, next time big guy, oh, here's a push, not just joking, no, whoever did that, shame on you, and I hope your family dies and you have to watch him die, but that's besides the point.
Who was booking at that point?
Russo was.
Was it Russo? I thought.
Well, the thing is, Matt Morgan, he got pushed, and then
He was teamed with Abyss.
yeah,
he with Joey Ryan.
he that's the thing. Like Matt Morgan, he got a couple pushes, but then once he would get to like that point where like he could go for the world title, they would like we change our mind.
Exactly.
Wasn't he in the match where they ended it because the two clenched and wouldn't stop punching each other?
Was that the Hernandez fight?
It was a match that they basically like ended in a no contest because let's grapple and
Yeah, that was the Hernandez fight.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Yeah, and you know,
Then again, that's not his fault. That's TNA booking.
Yeah, I know.
It just pissed me off. Like, okay, why would you give this guy a push and just take it away from him? And thanks to TNA, he's retired now. Because and his head made me like, what's the point now? Like, what's the point of?
His feud with Angle at Battle for Glory, I thought was going to be his launching point.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, give or take maybe 2 months, 3 months, he'll be world champion. It was like every time he had it, nah, we'll give him the Sting again.
Well, remember the last time he was in TNA, like it was after the whole like Joey Ryan stuff like that. They were doing this thing where Aces and Eights was around, but Hogan also had like this side story with Matt Morgan. Like Matt Morgan basically kept trying to get a chance. And it was the whole thing was like Hogan wasn't going to give him this chance. And it looked like they were building to an eventual Matt Morgan face turn, and he was going to be the one to help TNA beat the Aces and Eights. And then what did they do a few weeks later? They have him fight Sting in a number 1 contenders match. Sting makes him tap, and Matt Morgan was just used to build Sting for matches Bully Ray.
Yes, and I despise TNA for that. Again, yes, you tease his push for him, you dangle this carrot in front of him like he's a fucking starving rabbit, and you just take it away from him. And he was good in the ring, he really was. I like the 100-foot front, I like the elevator move, they're cool moves. But TNA, it pisses me off. Go on, Adam, I apologize.
Oh no, I didn't have anything.
Oh, okay. Well, for my closing statement on Matt Morgan, Steven, what are you doing?
Huh?
You're breathing really, really hard.
Oh, I wasn't.
Just get off.
I heard. Shut up, Adam. Talking.
I wasn't doing anything.
You were. I heard you.
I was picking my nose. That's all I was doing.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, Matt Morgan deserves so much more, and yeah. All right, Adam, you're next.
All right. My second choice, I went with somebody who I feel gets a lot of notice, but I feel like his in-ring work doesn't get a lot of notice, and that's Shane McMahon.
Oh.
Ooh,
yeah.
very interesting choice.
I like this.
I'm a huge Shane O'Mac fan. I don't think I've ever met somebody who isn't a Shane O'Mac fan. Because if there's one thing that the McMahons know about, it's how to have presence. But something that Shane did that was he would do anything to help the business get over. And that wouldn't help himself, it was to help people. So he would put himself through hell. Just to make everything work out. Go to King of the Ring 2001 with his match with Kurt Angle.
That is an amazing match.
Kurt threw him twice into the plexiglass. Didn't break. Kurt told him.
It's so underrated.
Kurt told him, You sure you want it? You don't have to do this. Shane made it clear, nah, screw it. We're gonna make this work. Why? Because Shane was a professional. And so what happens? He gets put through it. They got busted open in probably the only time ever you'll see a CZW style match in a WWE ring because of the plexiglass. Shane put himself on the line every time he did something just so that the fans would have something to enjoy, as well as push the guy that they're working with. He was great on the mic for what he did. There's just so much charisma in this guy, and it's a huge loss that he's not there right now. Because I think he would be so much fun feuding with his sister, going against the Authority.
Oh my god, do you know how amazing that would be?
Go to 2009, when he returned to face Randy Orton. The pop he got was immense. Why? Because Shane is awesome. There's nothing about this guy that wasn't good. He wasn't the greatest technical wrestler, but that wasn't his purpose. He was a great crash wrestler.
His punches.
You know, coast to the coast, awesome move.
Don't you mean Van Terminator?
Nah, shush.
Now, the jump from the Titantron.
Yeah.
Dive.
Oh, his feud with Kane was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Shane put 110% into everything he did.
Yeah, he actually outworks most of the roster, like, on this. Like, see if he came and won the Royal Rumble, no one would have cared.
No.
Over Roman Reigns.
You know, and he's also the kind of guy that had, you know, he would win a title. I remember reading that when he won the European Championship, he didn't want it because he was like, this is for the wrestlers. But, you know, he did it regardless. A constant professional, awesome talent, awesome everything, really. Doesn't get enough praise for everything else that he did. People are like, Shane McMahon, yeah, he was cool. But I feel like nobody really goes into depth of why they loved him so much. And that's why he's my number 2.
Oh, statements?
That was my closing statement.
Oh, okay, then I apologize. So I'll be next.
Okay. My number 2 is it's Christian. Now, I know a certain individual who unfortunately isn't here would be creaming himself right now at the
Rest in peace, AJ.
at the mention of Christian, but Christian truly is awesome. Christian is a great heel, and he's a great face. He's one guy who put him out there with just about anyone, and he can have a good match. You can't count too many bad Christian matches. Not many come to mind. Which is why he's always, in his last run with WWE, he was used as a guy that they just put out there to have good matches with people. And I know often he gets compared to his old tag team partner, his best friend Edge, who Edge obviously, statistic-wise, had a much better career than Christian, like multi-time world champion, going to go down as one of the greatest, at least, definitely this era, and one of all time. And Christian's like, well, he was there, but he was never truly liked by Vince, and this is well documented that he was not liked by Vince McMahon. And I think it's a shame that it took all the way to 2011 when Edge retired for him to become World Heavyweight Champion, and the fact
to get fucked over.
Yeah, besides the fact of what happened afterwards, it was the only reason he was given that world title was because Edge retired. So if Edge would have never retired due to that circumstance, it probably never would have happened. Also, they give him the title, but they're like, oh, you hold it for 2 days, and we give it to Randy Orton. Not the next pay-per-view, not build up a program. No, the next SmackDown. All of a sudden, Orton's got a shot and beats Christian. And Christian, he does get the title back. But it's because Randy Orton kicked him in the dick. And he won the title by disqualification and dropped it back to Orton at SummerSlam. And then it's just, what makes me angry is not even just that, but that he didn't win the world title back in 2005 when he was feuding with John Cena. They started to, because they kind of had their exchanges here and there throughout the year, and they were starting to build it up with that whole triple threat feud with Jericho, and then they just dropped it. They just dropped Christian from it and sent him to SmackDown. So eventually he went to TNA, and TNA treated him how he should have been treated in WWE. He's a 2-time NWA champion. He was a top guy there, one of the greatest guys to ever be in TNA. And he was only in TNA for 3 years. But it's a shame that he was never given the full push, because I think if given the opportunity, he could have had the same level of career that Edge did, if not better. That's my closing statement.
All right, Steven, your turn.
My second pick is Mason Ryan.
It's like a modern-day Batista.
Oh my god.
It's Mason Ryan, right? Before you you say, what are you doing? Mason Ryan. I mean, most people don't like Mason Ryan because he was slow and pretty crap, even by his own admission. And shouldn't have been on the main roster. Exactly. The thing is, though, he is probably the best Welsh wrestler around.
Can you name any other Welsh wrestlers?
Doesn't matter.
Exactly. It doesn't.
Exactly. Because it doesn't matter if you count the sheep as wrestlers or I don't know. It doesn't matter if there's no Welsh wrestlers. He is the best. And that's why Mason Ryan is the second most underrated of all time.
Okay, Dan, you're next.
No, wait a minute. That wasn't my reward.
No, Dan, you're next.
I'm next. Thank you very much. My next pick is actually Kofi Kingston.
Oh.
Something called a push in 2009, when he eliminated both CM Punk and Randy Orton, like, in the span of 5 minutes in a Survivor Series match, and was the sole survivor. Which, by the way, to my knowledge, now I could be wrong about this, to my knowledge, Randy Orton has only lost twice in sole survivor situations? I know he won 3 Survivor Series matches in a row, like being the sole survivor.
Who's a fact checker?
What?
Tyson isn't here.
But then he had that really awesome, promo the next night with the car.
Oh yeah.
And then he had that really good match, and he is so talented and so good, but it's just the fact that he's black. No, I'm not joking. No, it's the same reason, like, they didn't give Sabu a big push when he was there. Well, it was also, when Sabu was in WWE for brief.
Well, no, I didn't know he was black.
No, but, like, Sabu was Arabian, and plus ECW. Vince needed to basically show how big his cock was.
Well,
I worry. But, like, obviously, but do you know how, like, athletic he is? And just, like, all the creative ways, like, he survives, being eliminated from the Rumble. I think my favorite one was when he ran from the barricade, jumped into the ring. But, I perfectly honest, I think if he got more time to be that character he was in late 2009, I think he would just be so over. But the New Day thing is just shitting on him.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah, Kofi does deserve a lot more, and recent years it's hurt him a lot. It really has. And at one point, people loved Kofi Kingston. Now they just despise him.
I love Kofi. Like, his tag team work with CM Punk and Evan Bourne was really good as well.
He's only there nowadays to be the Royal Rumble spot.
Yeah.
Alright, Dan.
He's also just like an honorable mention. I have Shelton Benjamin, who's just in matches to be a spot monkey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a shame. He's also quite talented too. Now, Dan, closing statements?
Closing statements, they either break up the New Day and let Kofi Kingston, get a really good singles push, because he does deserve it and he will deliver. But because he's small and black, they won't give it to him. But, or either turn the New Day heel and then make him kind of like the leader of
Make him like
Right.
The Rock, like The Rock was for the Nation years ago.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't. But his thing, he can actually cut a promo, but he never gets the chances to do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
So that's-
now, Steven, you were gonna say something before I chose Dan. What were you gonna say?
Well, thank you, Jay. I thought you were going to leave me. But I was actually going to pick Daphne as my number 2.
Daphne.
Yeah, Daphne.
That's interesting.
All females.
I actually really like Daphne.
That's
Oh,
what I.
You know, back in the good old days when TNA was actually watchable.
Taking shots now?
No, I'm not taking any shots.
2009.
Hey, this ain't no TNA anti-argument. We can save that.
Anyway, back then, I thought Daphne was a very... Oh, she was different. I thought she was a very good part of the show. She offered something different to a good women's division at the time. I mean, she wasn't the best in the ring. I'm sure we can all agree with that.
Yeah.
But
I liked her.
Her
Oh,
best
I'm not saying
match
she was
a
bad in the ring, I
hardcore
thought she was
mixed
good.
tag match.
yeah, but for what she did, I thought she was excellent. And I don't think she was particularly great in anything other than hardcore matches. But the fact that I know it's difficult to explain. I'm making it sound like she wasn't that good. But I don't know. I don't think it's something I can truly explain. She's just one of my favorite women's wrestlers of all time. And it's sad the way things turned out for her in TNA.
There was one thing she did that was bad.
What was that?
She was the governor.
Oh,
See, I didn't see that. So
Also, she's also very talented, and the bump she took on the barbed wire.
Oh, yeah,
Shout
she
out
took
to
a-
my
she took-
homegirl.
Yeah, she took that bump when Biss chokeslammed her through the barbed wire board.
She went through
I think
tax.
it was that-
Ooh,
yeah. Oh yeah. The tag spot was what really made her famous.
she was a cruiserweight champion.
I
She
thought
was.
she was okay when she was with David and Crowbar.
But yeah, Daphne is definitely one of the most underrated women wrestlers of all time.
She's also attractive.
Yeah, she's also very
Yes,
attractive,
yes,
especially when she's like that emo goth girl and she's screaming at you. She's terrifying. She is terrifyingly hot when she's terrifying. She is.
She's what Taz called her, zombie hot, or Don.
Yeah.
One of them did.
Okay, Steven, close statements.
I like Daphne. She's cool.
All right.
She was great in Scooby Doo.
All right, just for the joke, you're going last now, Adam. All right, now our number 1, and now I'm gonna go first yet again because I'm the host and I'm the leader.
Condescending.
Yes, I am. But you know what? I'm allowed to have an ego. Why? Because I'm a bastard. All right, my number 1 is a guy who was just perfect in the business. He had the look, the gimmick, the mic skills, and the in-ring ability. Yet sadly, both in WCW and the WWE and in the Indies, he wasn't used very well whatsoever for whatever reason. And sadly, he will never get that chance because he recently died. And that man is Sean O'Hare.
Huh.
Ah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Sean O'Hare's cool.
Theodore, no.
It's okay, Theodore, we feel your pain. Sean O'Hare, like I said, he had everything. He was the perfect package. When you look at he was the perfect package. He had everything. Yet for some reason, both WCW and the WWE just refused to use him properly. I mean, they did. But then he got released. And it baffles me why he never got that big, amazing push that he deserves. He never won a singles title at all.
Yeah.
They tried doing something with him and Piper, but
And it's just like, what the hell? His Devil's Advocate gimmick was amazing. His mic was amazing. That movie he did, where he would run to the top rope, do a backflip, do a spin kick, phenomenal. He had one of the best sentons I have ever seen. He told Dawn Marie to take off her top on live television. You will be thankful for this man. He is just amazing. Yet for some reason, sadly, he'll never get it. He was never used properly, and it saddens me so much because he was the perfect package. He truly was.
Were there any issues backstage, or
I don't
just?
I don't recall. I don't remember reading anything about it.
Wasn't it that with the Roddy Piper one, they thought Piper was the one getting over and not him or something? So
Well, yeah, Piper was actually getting the most out of that. Like, he feuded.
Well, that's
with
what
Hogan.
happens when you put Piper with something. You put Piper with anybody, Piper's gonna get over. It's Piper.
Yes, Piper, a legend. Okay, he's a legend.
Yeah, Pipper.
When you put him in the ring with anybody else, he's gonna overshadow everyone. Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not that Sean O'Hare needed like a mouthpiece like Brock Lesnar does in the form of Hulk Hogan, but the problem, not Hulk Hogan, Paul Heyman. That would be so weird if Hulk Hogan was doing Brock Lesnar's mic work. Let me tell you something, bro. You're gonna be conquered, Roman Reigns. But no, it was It's kind of like if Piper does it, he doesn't do it deliberately. He just kind of accidentally sucks away the attention from everyone else, but Paul Heyman makes it in a way where he's building the other person.
unless your name's Curzak.
Did Sean O'Hare even really need the mouthpiece?
No,
He didn't need one, but that was the thing. It's not like Ryback or Brock Lesnar. Although Brock Lesnar can actually hold himself, in a sit-down interview, where he swears.
Alright, Dan, you go.
Like I said, I have a very diverse group, and all three of them are high flyers. This person actually almost won the WWF title from Triple H in 2000. On an episode of Raw, which many people believe would have gotten the biggest pop ever. He was one of the originators of the light heavyweight division until they decided to shit on it, and he has some of the best matches in WWE history.
Scotty Hilati, I knew it.
No.
Gilbert?
Taka Michinoku.
S.A. Rio? Oh.
Okay, he is underrated, but continue, 'cause I'm curious.
Yeah, so am I.
Taku Michinoku is amazing. If you think his stuff in WWE, which was actually so much better than most of the talent at the time.
Oh, dude, Michinoku Pro is amazing to watch. With him
In
in there.
Japan, he's 1,000,000 times better.
He's really good with Suzuki Gun currently.
Yeah. Have you ever seen his match with the Great Sasuke at Canadian Stampede? By the way, one of the best pay-per-views of all time.
I have not.
You should go watch it. It is an amazing pay-per-view. If Undertaker and Vader have if Undertaker Vader is your worst match on the card, then you've got...
Well, guess what? You can probably watch that on the WWE Network for just $9.99.
Well, I don't think they want to show, two Japanese people having a fantastic match, and also, I don't think they want to show Owen Hart having a 5-star match with a whole bunch of other people, and I don't think they want to show Goldust actually doing something.
Wait, is that not actually on the network?
I don't think it would be on the network.
That's a
You
disappointment.
could try. There's no mention of Chris Benoit on it, so... But no, Taka Michinoku is amazing. And he really should have won the WWF title, just for the shock value of it.
Hey, do you know what else was weird? Like, once he went back to Japan, he was respected, he had a push, but then, recently, he's not really, being used at all.
Yeah.
It's a shame, but he's still talented. He's still super talented. And I forgot what match it was. It was him versus, it was in, 0-1. I forgot who it was. I think it was Shinjiro Otani. I don't remember, but it was a match, and it was pretty fun to watch. I liked it a lot. But yeah, man, I completely agree with you. That's a good choice.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool with the statements?
Go watch the Canadian Stampede match and the entire pay-per-view, by the way.
What do we have here? Promoting now?
I'm promoting what we're talking about. I didn't make the fucking pay-per-view.
You're promoting their pay-per-view. You fucking
I
knew it, Dan.
I'm just dropping a match for one of my favorite wrestlers. Go watch, and also watch the WrestleMania 14 match he had against... Let me go check, 1 second. I can't remember the other guy's name.
Well, while you check, hey, Steven, do you remember his theme song?
Oh my god.
Fuck you! That was his theme song.
Yes, I remember that all too well.
I remember the
Goku driver, awesome.
Oh yeah, I remember the version you used for Death Fight.
I remember there was one match he had. I don't know who it was. It was some luchador, and he threw the guy out of the ring. Right, he jumped on the top rope, and he flew. God knows how far he flew, and did this beautiful crossbody.
It was Aguila.
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 Aguila, that's what.
A gorilla?
A gorilla. Go Monsoon?
I don't.
Like, for a 5-minute match, they put in so much work.
I didn't think Monsoon could go at that point, but...
He kind of died the
He
next
did
year,
over.
so, you know.
Yeah. Well,
Let's go.
Michinoku, way to go.
Quick interjection. I have on good news. Canadian Stampede is on the WWE Network. For just that.
Is it?
Stop promoting.
You should go totally watch it. It's like one of the best. It's one of my favorite pay-per-views. Opens up
Watch
with
it
a
on
fantastic
YouTube. Watch it on YouTube or Dailymotion.
I'm not sure if it's...
But it's not the HD quality.
It opens with a fantastic Triple H.
Okay, we're talking about the pay-per-view now. We gotta move on.
Way to go, Dan.
We should go talk about the pay-per-view afterwards.
Stop promoting.
In fact, we should watch the pay-per-view afterwards.
Dang it.
Alright. The next guy who will give us number one, and hopefully he'll give a serious one this time, is Steven.
My number one is Ahmed Johnson.
What? Oh, wait. Oh, Ahmed Johnson?
Ahmed Johnson.
Really? Ahmed Johnson?
Oh, man.
Ahmed Johnson.
Why did you pick Ahmed Johnson?
Ahmed Johnson is so great, right? But WWE put so much money into cloning him and making Ezekiel Jackson, so it just didn't work. So eventually Ezekiel Jackson left and turned up in various places for one night only. And,
Big Zeke didn't have enough pads.
Exactly. See, that's what was missing from the DNA. They couldn't get it right.
So, you picked Ahmed Johnson.
Ahmed Johnson.
Sako, who did Steven pick again? I forgot. I didn't hear him very well.
Who did Steven pick?
Yeah.
Ahmed Johnson.
Dan, who did... I can't hear. Dan, what did they say?
He said, Ahmed Johnson!
You know nobody's gonna get this, right?
Just
Inside
do it.
jokes away.
I know. We would explain to these people, but we're not going to. Alright, Steven, give us your real number one.
Okay, my real number one is Christopher.
Ahmed Johnson!
Oh,
Hey, what's his real number one?
Christopher Daniels.
Oh, duh.
Duh, you know. I'm just gonna say what I think it's gonna work out in one sentence. If it's not, I'm gonna look like an idiot. Christopher Daniels has never won a world championship.
Yeah.
That is all.
Man,
That is sad.
Games.
For the king of the indies, oh, God.
I honestly, truly believe, excluding Japanese wrestlers, because I don't know anything about them, Christopher Daniels is the best current active wrestler never to have won a world championship.
Yeah, all right.
because he has the best moonsault ever.
Oh, he does. Alright.
Puns.
Alright, now, of course, my next man is none than Sean Walsh. Big homie Sean Walsh, Sean Rizzi. Now, Sean, who's your number one?
My number one is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, and that being Kane. You know,
Go on.
Kanye.
that's gotta be Kane. as Vince McMahon once said, and then years later made him corporate. Kane.
That's gotta be shit.
Kane is someone who struggled at first to find the right gimmick, but man, he found the right gimmick, and the Kane character from back in the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era is one of the greatest characters of all time. Is one of the longest lasting characters of all time. Kane's always switched it up as being the dominant monster when he first came in, to then having feelings and having every girl be a bitch to him and turn on him, to the point where, and then X-Pac kicking women in the face, and then you wanting Kane to kick X-Pac's ass, and then Kane, turned heel and face a few times, fought the Undertaker, teamed with him a couple times, and then he was massively over in 2002. Should have been World Heavyweight Champion. He was already IC Champ and Tag Team Champ. Could have won all the belts, but they're like, no.
Oh, no, he was World Champion. Remember that? Just to lose it the next night.
Oh, yeah. Back in 98 when he won it. He won that first blood match against Steve Austin, but then the next night they fought and Steve Austin beat him. I'm like, oh, I get he's Steve Austin, but like, shit, you couldn't give Kane a little bit longer? Come on. But when 2002... arguably Kane's prime. When he did he had the half mask. He was at one of his best. The crowd was massively into him. He had comedy stuff, was the Hurricane and stuff like that people loved, and he was feuding with Triple H, and it made all the sense in the world to have Kane be the guy who to win the world title. He would have held all the titles, but no, Triple H beats him because Triple H beats everyone. And then Kane didn't do anything besides team with RVD, which was pretty cool, until he took the mask off. And Kane
Oh my god.
Which, say what you want about the later years of Kane taking his mask off, but that first year, when he took the mask off, he completely reinvented himself. And he was the true definition of a monster there. It was so great.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't enjoy the Kane and Big Show team up.
I was coolest the first time around. When they did, now they're on the third time around, it gets to a point where it's like, I think we've seen it enough.
They're best friends the whole time now, okay?
Yeah, they're big. Yeah, and then Kane, he kind of, after he fought the Undertaker at WrestleMania 20, which really hurt Kane, because the Undertaker came back and kind of just destroyed Kane after being buried alive. Kane was never really the same after that. He had his moments since then. He's had his world heavyweight title reign back in 2010.
He had that really good title match against Chris Benoit that year.
Yeah,
Who?
yeah,
Who?
At Bad Blood.
Who?
Stevie Richards.
Okay.
Someone else.
He did also murder Shawn Michaels that year too.
Oh yeah, the night after Bad Blood, and that was actually kind of cool.
Yeah. So Kane still had a couple monster moments left. He had. I enjoyed his ECW title reign, and I enjoyed the times they reunited him and the Undertaker, and I liked in 2010 that he actually beat the Undertaker, which, my God, it's just a shame it took all those years, and then
he had a decent title run.
Yeah, he finally had a decent title run, and also then when they put the mask back on him, and I was a fool like everyone else who was like, all right, Kane's back to 1998. Here we go, and that lasted until Cena beat him, and.
Oh, don't lie.
But I liked it when he was just running around killing Zack Ryder.
That was funny. When he put Zack Ryder off the stage.
Don't tell me you didn't enjoy Team Hell No.
Oh, I love Team Hell No. That's what I was going to get to. Because they did the whole monster thing again, but then it was like, oh, well, but Kane still loses. But then and I believe it's Kane who said he wanted to change it up because he wanted to do something different. When he did that Team Hell No with Daniel Bryan, first of all, built Daniel Bryan up to being a true main event star and get the crowd to love him even more, and that really changed things for Kane. Kane was at his best from a his in-ring skill at that point, and he was hilarious. The stuff he did with Daniel Bryan, like that Team Tunnel thing seemed like it was only going to be a short-term thing, but because of how successful it was, and all the funny anger management scenes, and then the scene in the diner, the my name is Gerald, and
I'm going to Disneyland.
Yeah, all that stuff, and it was great. And then Kane got beat in a Ring of Fire match from Bray Wyatt. Came back, gave the mask to Stephanie, and he becomes Corporate Kane. And at first, oh, something different for Kane. Kane in a suit, and then we see, Kane has pretty much lost to everyone on the roster and taken 500 Superman punches from Roman Reigns.
That's not true. He beat Adam Rose.
Okay, he beat Adam Rose, which is always good. That's one good thing. Kane can always beat Adam Rose, which I always love to see. But Kane, truly underrated, and also, next to The Undertaker, the most loyal guy to that company, right behind The Undertaker. I'm done.
Alright. Okay, now last and very least, because he threw him a cookie back in September, is Adam.
Alright. So, the person I picked was mentioned already.
I know what you're going to say.
Jimmy Jacobs.
My personal favorite, yes, it's Jimmy Jacobs.
Oh, now you want to talk about him.
Why I didn't want to say anything, because I would have given away everything I wanted to say. Jimmy Jacobs is one of the few true definitions of what underrated is. A man that has everything: the look, the mic skills, the in-ring work, the characteristics, the charisma, everything. But for some reason, was always pushed aside for somebody else. Age of the Fall happens. Becomes one of the biggest deals in independent wrestling. Starts to give ROH more credibility, puts it on the map for new viewers. Because it was different. Because it was I mean, for Christ's sake, the initial introduction of it, they hung, I think it was Jay Briscoe,
Yes, it was.
from the ceiling by his feet while he was bleeding, and Jimmy was covered in the blood. It was one hell of a spectacle.
It was a lot of blood, too.
And the thing about that is, to a lot of people, that's their favorite Jimmy Jacobs promo. Jimmy doesn't like it.
Why?
He didn't think it came off as well as he wanted it to.
Hmm.
If there's one thing about Jimmy Jacobs, is he's very down on himself most of the time, which is a shame, because he's fucking outstanding. This is a guy that could have been what ROH needed to gain some new traction. Give him the title. Age of the Fall could have been so much bigger. I mean, it already was. But he didn't get the title for some reason, because they needed to give it to these other guys. And then you knew as soon as Cornette showed up, he wasn't getting that belt, because he doesn't look like what Cornette wanted. So what happens? He gets shoved into Scum. He was good in Scum. Him and Carino were great together as tag champions. I liked his feuds with Steed afterwards. But again, never got what he deserved. Now he's in the Decade. Well, he was in the Decade. Now he's gone. He's with the WWE now, but he's on the creative side. Even though he would be a great on-screen character, like a manager or something. Jacobs is the pure definition, in my mind, of what underrated really is. The guy that has it all, but is shoved aside because you need a corporate face to make your company look good. Because sadly, Jimmy doesn't have the look, even though that's kind of upsetting, because it's better to have something different than have something be carbon copied white bread.
I agree. Anyone clap for Adam? I agree. Clap.
Thank you, Jay.
No problem, Adam. Alright, now it's the big debate. I would mention my honorable mentions, but I don't have any because, well, I'm too lazy to mention them. Now, guys, alright. Now, let's throw out some names, right?
Throw out some names.
Not this time. though. Someone who we didn't mention, right, in our list, who is the ultimate underrated wrestler of all time.
Funaki.
Well, I was gonna actually.
Yes, Saka Funaki, I agree.
What?
Funaki is,
I'm gonna pick somebody that Steven picked as the all-time, and that's Christopher Daniels.
Of all time?
Yeah. I think, the fact that this guy has... I always thought him and AJ were always on the same page, but obviously they went with AJ. The man should have been champion at least twice. For the guy that's called the King of the Indies, you look at his indie work, he didn't do as much as people made it seem. Goes to TNA, puts in fucking all the work, never got a title for some reason. Then goes to become Curryman, gets over, never got the X Division Championship, becomes Suicide, almost died in the Ultimate X match. Puts in all the work and effort, has to deal fighting Styles over and over again when he could have been fighting for the world title, never gets it, then leaves. Now he's in a tag team with Taz in ROH. Spoiler alert, they're the tag champions now. It already got released, so whatever. That's pretty much all he'll ever be, is tag team champion. That's it. He goes back to ROH after he leaves TNA, becomes TV champion. Can't even get the world title. The guy is the pure underrated of all time, in my opinion. I am going with Steven. That's my pick.
I don't know. I mean, I want to say Daniels, but I think there's someone else who we're forgetting. Who was it?
Anybody want to throw out anybody else?
Piper.
I don't think Piper's underrated. I think he's at a position where he's not overrated, he's not underrated, he's good.
I only feel like he at least deserves a world title run.
Yeah, but he was in the same vein with Hogan.
I think nowadays Piper's perfect and rude and the sort of Macho Man, I guess, and other people where people have had years to see how good they are. I think everybody who's a wrestling fan recognizes that they were some of the best of all time not to win a world title, except for Macho Man when he did. But I think
Rude won a world title.
Well,
the
won the
AWA
and the WCW world title.
Wait, Rude won the really?
He won that.
Kurt Hennig won the AWA, and Rick Rude won the WCW after his WWF run.
But was it the WC title he won, not the world title? It was
it was legitimately considered a world title. It was because it was defended in Japan multiple times.
I know they called it something else.
It was the WCW International title.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, when he left WWF, he went and he was in the Dangerous Lines with Paul Heyman, and he was the leader there, and he was the world champ.
Oh shit!
I mean, I think Piper did what he did.
Fine, Ted DiBiase.
I mean,
Ted DiBiase is a good one.
He is. I often feel like this is a debate that's never going to end because there are so many guys who just deserve a world title.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but
he have to be the title.
No, here's what I think. If you're so phenomenal that you do get this phenomenal push, but for some odd reason you don't get the title and you deserve it, it doesn't matter if they didn't need it.
I feel like underrated should go to the person that puts in all the work and effort but never gets all of that back. Piper got that. Piper got that back.
Yeah, okay.
Piper didn't need a world title to be synonymous. I mean, he was one of the most hated guys in wrestling.
Jerry Lawler?
Well,
I mean, in Memphis, in the territory days, he was... he was very well loved, but
he's one of the greatest heels of all time.
He was, but he never. I think only in Memphis or in the South where he really got the push that he deserved. But but later on, it's when he was still hot, he never won a world title. I remember. No, it could.
I think that young upstart John Cena.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That U.S. champ guy.
Yeah, he definitely deserves it.
He's definitely a world championship material.
And Virgil, he's very underrated.
I'll throw another one out there. Kennedy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, granted, he had his own issues, of course, which led him down the line of not being there, except for the Orton situation, because Orton was a dick at the time.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he still is, but
Less of a dick.
massive dick at the time. Kennedy could have been something huge.
Mm-hmm. He could have honestly been the next.
And it looked like they were
Top
putting
guy.
him on that track, like, at least 3 times.
Yeah. They wanted him to.
I like Candy, but I think there's something off about him.
Another name that I'm gonna mention is Steven Francis, who.
He's in DIW.
Yeah, but he put in so much work, right? Just to end up being retired by an O'Connor role.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a fun podcast. I'm glad all of you.
Wait.
I am taking over host duties now.
Well, the whole deal of this part is we have to come up with the one person we all agree with.
I'm gonna go with Christopher Daniels.
See, me and Steven are on that. I'm also going to throw Goldust out there.
Oh, there we go.
No, take it back.
I'll go
Goldust.
Goldust.
Dan? Is Dan here?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, you're not saying anything.
Ah,
He was away doing stuff.
I was letting you guys talk.
Oh, well, you get to interject too, Dan. You're part of this.
Do you
I
think
get
that
to-
Goldust is the
We
most...
love you, Dan. We love you very
Yes,
much.
I agree that Goldust is very underrated because the match he had with Orton when he came back for this recent run.
I feel like Goldust's character at the time of the Attitude Era would have been something really bizarre if he was world champion.
Yeah.
And that's no pun intended, but just imagine if he was world champion. He would have been so. He was created at a time where that shit wasn't happening, and it would never go today. Like, yeah, we have Goldust today, but I'm talking about that Goldust.
And
That shit would not drive. The PR and fucking everything would be on WWE's ass with the whole anti-gay and shit, even though he wasn't gay.
he is very, very flamboyant.
He was very promiscuous.
And for him to take Goldust, right, and to finally get out of the shadow of his father, who is Dusty fucking Rhodes, by the way, that is a lot for him. The same thing with Cody, who left the shadow of his father and his brother. But Goldust, Dustin, 7, Black Ray.
He was only 7 for like one night.
It was like 1 minute. Whatever. He is just phenomenal. In the ring and with the Goldust gimmick.
He took a character that could have been career suicide. I mean, I have his book, and I read it, and he talks about it. This was a character that could have been career suicide, could have ruined himself, could have ruined the company, if it wasn't done right. And he took that shit, took it to the fucking moon, and people were like, this shit's weird, but I love it. You know?
Totally. It's totally
And again,
Goldust.
whatever.
And just think of all of the great moments and stuff. The backlot brawl with him and Piper at WrestleMania. I think the weirdest thing was the whole was when his feud with Pillman and Marlena gets to be his sex slave and shit.
How about the artist formerly known as Goldust?
Oh,
when
with Luna Vachon, that was awesome.
He came out with pink hair, a ball gag.
It was awesome.
You're getting
And of
way
course-
too excited there.
and of course, him and Booker T.
Oh, great tag.
Oh
team.
yeah.
Fuck that.
And the Brotherhood.
Yeah, look at that. He comes back.
I love the segment where he's like, I'm a lumberjacket, I'm okay. Pick it, and it's just him.
And his segment with Triple H at WrestleMania when he got shot.
Wait. Ass cream with 15% more ass.
You want to talk about a guy who came back in 2009, 2010, out of shape, looked like shit. Goes away, comes back in 2013 for the Brotherhood stuff?
Yeah.
No, he was around 2010. No, 2010 was he was around. Then he had the great match with Jericho.
Yeah, but then he left.
Then he left, and then
Came
he came.
back,
2013.
And holy shit. Fucking outstanding. Got himself back in shape, was putting on matches that he did back in the Attitude Era. People going as far to say that he was in better shape and looked better than his Attitude Era run.
Yeah.
And although I will say this, a negative side is when he's Dustin Rhodes, he's very bland.
Well, that's why it's not Dustin, it's Goldust.
Yes, exactly.
Goldust is one of my favorites of all time. He's so cool.
Yeah.
Great character, too.
So I'm guessing we all agree it's Goldust who's just the most
Totally
underrated guy.
Goldust, yeah.
Yeah, totally Goldust.
Steven, Sacco.
Hmm?
Oh yeah, we
What?
agree. Yeah.
You say yes then. God damn it, you're in the podcast. Start over.
We already said Goldust.
You know what? Let's ask the viewers, shall we, in the chat. Did Steven and Sean say Goldust?
Not just that, but
They
if you're watching...
Probably said
Steve,
it with their eyes.
but not just that, but if you're listening to this, leave your list in the comments as well.
Yeah, I agree. Leave your list, our discussion. Please do not use the N-word. Or his slurs.
Want to bash Ryan Carroll because you're watching this for some reason and you know who we are? Go right ahead. We don't care. We do as well.
And like, favorite, share, and subscribe to us.
And always remember, you will never forget the name of Goldust.
And DurgaBurgers.
Yes,
Yeah.
DurgaBurgers. Or, as I like to call it, the DurgaBurger, because, you know, it's not a problem. But yeah. And boys and girls, we see you later next time, and I hope you enjoy the podcast. Peace, love, and don't commit crimes. I've been alone with you inside my mind. And in my dreams I kissed your lips 1,000 times. And welcome to the DurgaBurgers. Okay.
Yay,
Well-
blooper reel.
Well-
Fuck, just